Hey guys, I am Foxtrot Delta, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Now today's video is just going to continue to show you guys some stuff that I have around the Kerbin system, again referring to Kerbin and its two moons. And there's quite a bit of stuff here, but I don't know how long this is going to take, because in the last video I sort of flew up to meet the station. In this video I'm just going to select the stuff from the map and just show you guys what it is that I have built. So, first of all, let's see, what is this? Let's just see. Actually, let's go to Stay Putnik. So, Stay Putnik, let's just find it on the thing here. Let's just toggle those off. Okay, Stay Putnik Mark 1. You see, there's this, before I click on it, there's this one drone brain called the Stay Putnik module or something like that. And of course, that's supposed to be like a play on Sputnik, which was Russia's first satellite. And so I used that module and attached the four antennae to it, and if I hit fly, you'll see it looks just like Sputnik. Kind of. Similar. Look at that. It's the best I could do to make my own little mini Sputnik. And I... Actually, at first, this satellite was in a really elliptical orbit, really strange shape around the planet, because the boosters that got it up there ran out of fuel. And so it was in this really strange shape, and so I took one of my ships, I named it like Grab Vessel something or other, and what I did was I got up to it, met with it in space, and burned at its periapsis, which was somewhere around here, and then just got it into a nice circular orbit. It's about 4,000 meters distance, but still, that's way better than it was before, and just looks so cool. And another thing, let's just go back to the tracking station, eventually. Okay, so another thing that I made was a communications satellite, which serves no purpose except to look cool. And it's just under the orbit of the Stay Putnik satellite. Here it is. It just looks really cool to me. It doesn't do anything. And yeah, that's all there is to it, really. I mean, it's just a couple batteries, some nice huge solar panels, and some communications arrays, and a little drone brain that doesn't really serve any purpose. And yeah, it's just up here to look like a satellite, and that's exactly what it does. So, heading back to the tracking station, let's see what else we got going here. We also got, actually, let's bring our landers and our rovers back. What else? Actually, no, let's stay with the probes for now. Stay Putnik, there's some stuff in the other planets. Okay, so another thing that I did, which was pretty cool, I think, was redirect 1. So what happened was I was looking at my map one day, and I was just zoomed out like this, and I saw a question mark over here. Maybe it was down here. I don't know. Somewhere pretty far out. And I looked at it, and it looked like it was going to orbit here and go out. And so I went out to the tracking station and looked at the object. Turns out it was an asteroid, a pretty small asteroid. And there are larger ones out there, but this one just came right into the right area of my space where I could actually meet up to it, because it's right between the two moons, and I've actually been to both moons. And so, if you guys take a look, I built a ship. I didn't use any stock vessels here. I built my own ship, and didn't even complete the tutorial for redirecting an asteroid. But I did it. This is my asteroid. And it actually took me 2 tries to try to capture this asteroid. The first time, I sent up a ship that had landing pads down here, and I was just going to land here and thrust backward, and hopefully slow the asteroid down that way. But just as I was approaching the asteroid, I decided to Google it if I could even land on an asteroid. It turns out you can't. So I decided to use the same grabbing mechanism that I used to redirect my satellite, and I latched onto the asteroid, thrusted with these engines here. Actually, I was only going to really thrust with... Actually, I think it was this engine right here was my planned thrust engine, and yeah, that wasn't even necessary, so I just... still have all these engines here, and I used those to slow down the asteroid into a nice circular-ish orbit. I think it's pretty circular compared to what it was before. It was just slingshotting around and out, so I think that's pretty good. And yeah, this thing has just been orbiting ever since, and it is amazing. My own asteroid. So I guess technically this is like my third moon or something. Yeah, anyway, I think that is really, really cool. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the stuff that I've done on the actual moons of this system. Okay, so jewelry research. No, we're not gonna show you guys all that really cool stuff yet. We're gonna show you guys the flags. The first Apollo landing. I named my moon missions Apollo, of course, after the Apollo missions. And if you guys look, there's my lunar module landing section. There's my flag. Now we're on the dark side of the moon, so you probably can't see much, but there are plenty other flags on the surface of the moon that I can show you. But yeah, I think that is just so cool. I actually left my landing section down here, still with fuel in it. Can't select it though. So if we actually go back to the Space Center, I can show you guys the other, I believe there are 2 more flags on the moon. Let's go check it out. So Apollo landing 2 at the moon. Fly. Come on. Okay, here we are on the daytime side. Look at all those rocks. That is such a beautiful, beautiful spectacle. Look at that. That's just breathtaking. There's just the scope of how large that is. But anyway, so this was the second successful mission. I actually left the landing gear down. Or not the landing gear, I left the ladder down. Of course the landing gear's down too, so I wasn't wrong. Yeah, okay, so that's the second one, and if we take a look at the third flag that I put down, it is not on the moon. And that place would be, let's just, Minmus. Here we are. Now it's dark, of course, because I wanted to show you guys the thing. So, of course, because I wanted to show it to you, it's dark. But you can just make out the flag here and the landing section. And if I zoom out, you can see just how small my ship was compared to the size of this small moon. And this moon is very small, but it's still large compared to my ship. Okay. Space Center, and I think I landed one more time on the moon. I will also show that to you guys. So Apollo 4, yep, is at the moon with another landing section, I believe. Yep, there it is. And of course it is dark. But there it is. If you guys can see it, congratulations. If you can't, it's there. Believe me. And Kerbals in their Apollo missions were not the only things that I landed on the moon. There were a bunch of other things that I also landed beforehand, which were probes. Before I sent any Kerbals into space, I spent months sending out probes to everything. Or at least everything that I could. So let's actually turn that off. Turn that off. And what do we have here? We have drone lander and Duna lander and Mun rover. Ooh, that'll be fun. But I think what I'm looking for is the robot lander. And that is in the probe section. So let's just go straight to the probes. And robot lander Mark 1. This was my first vessel to land on the surface of the moon in the center of that crater. And it was just so cool. Every time I land on... Oh, we are levitating. Oh, okay, we're not levitating. It was all a lie. But every time I land on the moon, or mun, it's just that there's this thrill that I get, just knowing that we're so far away from our parent planet. And you can see Apollo 2 over there, just chilling. Yeah, it's just so cool every time I land on the moon. It never gets old. I could do it all day. And look at all these craters. That is beautiful. Then again, everything in this game to me has its own level of beauty. The planets, the craters, the moons. Okay, and we also have a rover on the surface. Rovers, rovers, rovers. I know that there was one right here. Mun rover Mark 1. Now, this was not person-controlled. This was probe-controlled, once again. Although in another game that I did, I actually had a person-controlled rover that I had seats on, and geez, things are spinning. Can I actually move this properly? No. Yes, no. Let's see. The brakes are on. That would probably do it. And okay, we are spinning in circles. Actually, that's one of the things I wanted to mention. For some reason, recently I checked out one of my rovers on Duna, and it turns out that when I went forward, it just went in circles. And now, when I'm trying out this rover, it's just going in circles. And I've tried reversing the wheel spin and on one side, and it still doesn't help it at all. So yeah, it looks like we are going to be spinning in circles, not using this rover. So I'm going to have to send up a new rover if I want to use my rovers again. But it's not really that important. I can send Kerbals now to the moon, so it just doesn't really matter. But I'm kind of saddened to see that my rovers that I built and spent so much time on, like, look at, like, you guys don't realize how hard it is to land something on the surface of a planet that has no atmosphere. You cannot use parachutes. You have to use thrusters. And with this, I actually put the thrusters on the bottom of the rover. On the manned rover, or buggy that I sent up before, I actually had a thruster right up above, and it actually snapped apart and broke apart after it landed. And sometimes the parts actually came down and destroyed the craft, so it just was trial and error with that. But anyway, so that is my rover that I built, and I believe that I sent up one more thing, one more lander. There we go, Drone Lander Mark II landed at Minmus. So this was the second thing that I sent out, and I think it's going to be daytime, kind of. It's just in the middle of the sunset on Minmus over here. Maybe that's a sunrise, I'm not sure. Nah, it's still dark, but it's basically the same thing that I sent to the Mun, except the solar panels in this case go right through the dish over here, so that's kind of interesting. And there is one final thing that I want to show you, and that would be just one of the, actually let's turn this off, don't need that. Okay, the Apollo 1 LEM. I want to show you guys what this craft actually looks like. The thing that came up and delivered the astronaut back to the actual ship that went back to Kerbin. This is the LEM, or what's left of it after it left its landing parts down below. And how it did that? Well, it just had a separator right here, and these engines would blast up at the same time it separated, and boom, we're up in space. It could carry one person, and after I finished with it, I just left it in orbit around the Mun as a testament to my successful mission. And there's at least, well, I believe there's 3 of these here. Yep, 1, 2... any more I can see offhand? 3, yeah. So, I think that will do it for Kerbal Space Program today. This video was kind of repetitive, me going back and forth into the menus and just showing you a bunch of similar items, but for those of you who enjoyed it, I thank you for that. And the next video I do, I am planning on showing you guys an actual Mun mission. A successful trip to the Mun and back using this craft. Well, actually, not just this craft. There's more to it, obviously. But we will land using this thing, and you guys will actually see the full-size ship that I use to get to the Mun and back. And I'm very proud of building it. I think it works really well. So if you guys enjoyed this video of Kerbal Space Program, please be sure to leave a like. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe if you want to see more. And if you guys did not like this video, I am sorry. Please let me know in the comments why. And so, yeah, as always, I am Foxtrot Delta, and I'll see you next time.